I will now give the floor to Mr. Zahir Tanin. You have the floor, sir.
Mr. President, distinguished member of the Security Council, the holding of early general elections in Kosovo on 6th October, which gave the people an opportunity to select their representatives from among 1,067 parliamentary candidates, including 343 women, has brought forth the most significant change in the political landscape of Kosovo in 12 years. Please allow me to make some observations about these elections, in which the turnout was the highest since 2010. The decision to call snap election came at a time that was characterized by internal political division, a broken unity with the governing coalition, and most importantly, the public's perception of inability to deliver on promises to the people of Kosovo. The preliminary results point to a victory by the opposition, with Vendosia, or self-determination, and the Democratic League of Kosovo, LDK, which are currently exploring coalition options. This change in the political environment was manifested in the decision of most voters to rally behind unconventional political candidates who do not share the background or vision of past leaders. Kosovo's Serb majority areas recorded the highest voter turnout in recent times, confirming a trend of active participation by this community in Kosovo elections. Serbian list may become the only Kosovo Serb parliamentary group represented in the legislature. Overall, the elections were assessed positively by international observers, but challenges such as campaign financing and intimidation and voter pressure in the Kosovo Serb majority areas were also highlighted. In terms of women political participation, this election marked the first time a major political party in Kosovo nominated a woman as the prime ministerial candidate. Other encouraging signs were campaign pledges made towards greater gender parity in government and high turnout among the young voters. Mr. President, I remain hopeful that the new leadership can use the momentum of this election to deliver on its promises to the people by advancing the rule of law, fighting corruption and organized crime, and tackling unemployment. The international community also expects that new leaders to affirm their commitment to the negotiations with Belgrade and ensure that obstacles to dialogue are removed. Particular effort should be made to ensure that political rhetoric and actions are conducive to resumption and progress in the dialogue after a year of stalled negotiations. I welcome the continuous efforts by many key international players to regenerate momentum in the political dialogue. While I'm convinced that an agreement between Belgrade and Pristina can be sustainable only if it is based on responsible action and local ownership of the process, it's also imperative that during this transition in Kosovo, the international community stands united and firm in its support towards a viable agreement. Mr. President, let me turn to an issue that was already raised during your last debate on Kosovo on 10th June. As you are aware, on 28 May, two UNMIK staff members were arrested by the Kosovo police. The arrest took place in the course of a Kosovo police operation targeting smuggling and organized crime. As I stated to this Council on 10th June, UNMIK stands fully behind efforts of Kosovo institutions to combat organized crime and corruption. I wish to recall that during their arrest, both staff members were badly beaten and injured, and they were subsequently detained and later released. Additionally, criminal proceedings were instituted against both staff members, including a detention hearing against one of them. To ascertain the facts, I established an investigation team comprised of UN Secretariat staff members from outside UNMIK, while with extensive investigative and legal expertise. The team carried out an exhaustive investigation, interviewing more than 50 witnesses, and examining photographic, video, and documentary evidence. International partners and Kosovo institutions, including Kosovo police, cooperated with the investigation. The investigation team has now submitted their report to me. Here are the facts. The investigation team found no evidence to support accusation of wrongdoing by the two UNMIK staff members. The team confirmed that both were on official duty when they were arrested. Their arrest and detention occurred despite their having clearly identified themselves as UN staff. The team found substantial evidence of the use of excessive force by Kosovo police. As a result, Mr. Krasnoshchikov suffered fractures in the back and side of the skull, cheekbone, and upper jawbone, and was assessed to have acute stress and anxiety depressive reactions. Mr. Demirovic suffered multiple contusions and skin excoriations in the head and thorax, hearing loss in both ears, and a deviated septum. He has also been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Without the prior authorization of the United Nations, Kosovo police drove and retained a UNMIK vehicle, and forensic examinations were conducted on UNMIK-owned telephone and 2 SIM cards. The arrest and detention of Kosovo staff members while on official duty, as well as the institution of criminal proceedings against them, were in clear violation of their immunity from arrest and detention and from legal process. The use of excessive force, interference with mission property, and the continuation of criminal proceeding against both staff members are in clear breach of the applicable legal framework, including Security Council Resolution 1244, UNMIK regulations, and international human rights law standards. The international staff members was also declared person non grata, a concept that is not applicable to or in respect of UN personnel. These actions are unacceptable and should be deplored. All ongoing criminal proceedings against the 2 staff members must therefore be terminated immediately. The status, privilege, and immunities of UN personnel must be fully respected at all times. Kosovo authorities should investigate those Kosovo police involved in the incident to ensure appropriate accountability, and steps should be taken by the institution of Kosovo to ensure that such incidents will not be repeated. Mr. President, in recent days, UNMIK has engaged the Kosovo authorities on the outcome of this investigation. I am pleased to report that these discussions have been taking place in a positive spirit. As long as this Council maintains the mandate for the international presence in Kosovo, I look forward to the institutions of Kosovo and UNMIK operating in full respect of one another. We're proud that UNMIK played a central role in the formation of the Kosovo police and judiciary, and we are hopeful that their intention is to address any failing and to operate in accordance with international norms and standards. Mr. President, in advancing our mandate, we continue to foster the rule of law and human rights, an essential element of which is access to justice for every individual. A UNMIK-funded legal aid center provided free legal assistance to people from vulnerable groups. We continue to assist the investigation of the integration of the judiciary in northern Kosovo, in supporting court infrastructure across Kosovo. In addition, we are assisting the local authorities in northern Kosovo to establish the first ever regional shelter for survivors of gender-based violence. We also launched a platform that brings together civil society organizations across Kosovo to empower people in advocacy and grassroots monitoring of their fundamental rights. Within our trust-building framework, which remains central to our vision, the mission has advanced support for language rights. In cooperation with the Kosovo Language Commissioner and International Organization for Migration, we have engaged language experts from Belgrade and Pristina to prepare the first Albanian Serbian dictionary since 1984, which is available online. Mr. President, today marks 19 years since the Council adopted Resolution 1325 on women, peace, and security. On this occasion, I would like to underline the importance of gender-inclusive and responsive political process. Our mission continues to support such efforts with women leaders and international partners, including UN Women and the European Union, through concrete projects. I would like to reiterate, Mr. President, the Secretary General's call for assisting the most vulnerable communities in Kosovo by contributing to the United Nations Trust Fund in support of the Ashkali, Egyptian, and Roma communities in Kosovo. I welcome the initial contribution to the Trust Fund received earlier this year. However, I would like to urge additional contributions to enable meaningful response to the pressing needs of the affected communities. Mr. President, as we approach the 75th anniversary of the United Nations, we are reminded of the central importance of we the peoples. These first 3 words of our charter remind us that the vital work of governments in the maintenance of the international peace and security can only endure if anchored in strong societal foundations. This vision of our founders inspires UK's UNMIK's work. I wish to express my deep appreciation to this